Here's the major difference between men and women that you must understand in order to have healthy relationships. So there's really only one thing that we each need from the other and that we are required to provide for the other. For men, what we require from them and what they learn to do through social conditioning for us is to feed the fantasy. We women are emotional. We like to feel. We love experiences that allow us to feel. And we create fantasies in our head where we are able to romanticize our lives, romanticize our dreams, and romanticize our desires. That is the fantasy that you are creating for yourself about what you want for life, for love, for your overall lifestyle. Men recognize that and they understand that. And so when a man comes into your life, he is naturally going to feed the fantasy that he believes you have and that he believes you hold as a woman. So expect him to come into the space and talk to you about what he can do, what he can provide, how great he is, how much money he makes, what kind of car he drives, right? All of those things are part of feeding the fantasy. And when you know this, you elevate yourself and position yourself in a better place to attract and to choose and get into relationships with better partners. Because if you know that he's going to feed the fantasy, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to ask for much of him, right? You just allow him to do what he does and create the space for him to prove it and not just feed the fantasy, but fulfill the fantasy. And the one thing that men need from women and that women are required to provide for men is to nurture their need. Men are generally more practical, more logical, more rational. They think about things in terms of problem solving and what's needed. And when a woman comes into a man's life, he is looking for that woman to nurture the need, which is why he will go out of his way to feed her fantasy. Now it's up to you to decide what your man's need is. Most men need and require respect, need and require loyalty, need and require support. But every man is different, right? And so you get to take the time to nurture the need of the man that you choose to partner with and be in your life. And through the dance of him feeding and fulfilling your fantasy while you are nurturing his need, you are beginning to put the bricks in place for a healthy relationship between the two of you. So remember that when a man comes into your life, he is there to feed the fantasy and then fulfill the fantasy. And you are there to nurture his need.